Let me make something crystal clear from the start. No one's coming to save you. The applause, the support, the "I believe in you," you won't hear that when you need it most. And that's exactly why you need to become a savage about your own growth. Focus on you until the focus is on you. Stop running your mouth with criticism. First of all, you're not perfect. Second of all, it's damn near impossible to build anything meaningful when your inner voice is constantly tearing yourself down. Get your self-talk right. Build a fortress in your mind. Then, and only then, will the rest of your world start to reflect that same strength. You think discipline is about motivation? Wrong. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. And if you can't do that, you'll be stuck forever. Mediocre. Unseen. Lost in the crowd of average people wishing for something they're not willing to bleed for. Now let's talk about your thoughts. That battlefield in your head, that's the real war. With your thoughts, you can drown in a sea of negativity, or you can float on the ocean of life. The difference is awareness. Control the thought, control the life. That means confronting the demons, don't bottle them. What stays inside festers. And festering kills more dreams than failure ever could. If you're serious about elevation, then understand this. You need to think like the man you want to become. Read like him, move like him, speak like him. Expose your mind consistently to higher levels of thinking. Eventually, you'll stop reacting like a peasant and start strategizing like a king. You want influence? Learn persuasion. A great lawyer doesn't beg the jury, they move them with precision. Learn to communicate like that, and you'll never be powerless again. People love to act like lone wolves. Cool story, until winter comes. Isolation doesn't make you a warrior. Growth does. And sometimes growth means learning from others, surrounding yourself with better energy, or at the very least, shutting up and listening. The number one purpose in life? To better yourself. That's it. And it never ends. No matter how good you get, there's always another level. If you feel lost, perform at a high level anyway. Because momentum saves more lives than motivation ever will. And finally, what you focus on expands. Feed the right wolves in your head and watch your life change. Stay consistent, stay calculated, and stop waiting for a damn purpose to give you permission to be great. No one's coming to hand you greatness. No one's clapping when you're alone in your room at 2 a.m. grinding on your future. But that's where legends are made. In silence, in struggle, in solitude. You want to control your mind? Then start acting like your vision is undeniable, like it's already written. Because the world bends for those who bend reality with belief. You think Kanye West is crazy? He might be. But guess what? He believed in himself so hard. The world had no choice but to listen. That's the type of conviction you need. Not the fake humble, "I hope this works" energy. I'm talking I am the blueprint energy. You have to be the kind of person who speaks their future into existence and then backs it up with obsession. You can't afford to think like the average person anymore. Average thoughts create average lives. Your mind has to be a fortress, impenetrable, relentless, and disciplined. When that alarm rings, you get up. When you're tired, you go harder. Not because someone's watching, but because you said so. That's power. When the noise gets loud, and it will, you tune it out. The crowd's opinion is background static. Learn to hear the voice inside that says, "I was made for this." Because when no one believes in your dream, you better be the loudest damn believer in the room. Period. And stop waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are the moment. You're not just here to survive. You're here to take over. Perform at a high level, even when you feel empty. Show up with purpose, even when life feels purposeless. The elite keep going. That's what separates kings from pawns. This is deeper than motivation. It's about identity. You don't try to be great. You are great. Every thought, every action, every step is aligned with the highest version of you. You walk into rooms, and your energy speaks before your mouth ever opens. Forget applause. Forget validation. You don't need the world to tell you who you are. You tell the world. That's control. That's domination. That's how you win alone. Let me tell you the raw truth. If you're waiting for people to clap for you, you've already lost. They won't see it until it's done. They won't believe until you've already become undeniable. And that's why you have to move like you're chosen, before the world even knows your name. Greatness doesn't show up with an invitation. It shows up through obsession, through self-belief so intense it borders on insanity. That Kanye West kind of belief. The kind that makes people uncomfortable because they can't fathom how deeply you believe in yourself. Be that delusional. Be that bold. Be that real. You want to control your mind? Here's where it starts. You decide who you are, and you don't let the world negotiate that for you. Not your parents, not your environment, not your failures. You. The moment you take full authorship over your identity, the game changes. Because now, you're not hoping. You're executing. You're manifesting through movement. Discipline isn't sexy, but it's God-tier power. Doing what you hate to do and doing it like you love it, that's mind control. That's high-level performance. That's how you create momentum when your motivation is dead. And if you can move without hype, without validation, without applause, you're dangerous. Every thought you entertain is either building your empire or burning it down. Most people let fear, doubt, and emotion drive their day. You don't have that luxury. You're not built for average. You train your thoughts like an athlete trains his body. You direct them like a general commands troops. Because if you don't run your mind, someone else will. Want to know a secret? What you do when no one's watching is 10 times more powerful than what you do when they are. That's where real confidence is born. Not in applause, not in followers, but in silence, in the trenches, in those lonely nights where quitting whispers in your ear, and you answer back, not today. Your life becomes the mirror of your persistent thoughts. So if you want to rise, you must force your mind to think like a winner, a champion, a visionary. Read the thoughts of men who built empires. Think like a mogul. Think like your future self. Expose your brain to such high-level frameworks that your old self no longer fits in the room. You think you need support? No. You need to become so focused, so sharp, so internally powerful that the world is forced to adjust to you. That's what real leaders do. They don't wait for the wave. They are the wave. So here's your call to arms. Start thinking like your name belongs next to the greats. Start walking like your legacy's already written. Start performing like the world is watching, even when it's not. Be relentless. Be delusional. Be undeniable. And here's the part nobody talks about. When you finally start moving different, people will try to humble you. Not because you're wrong, but because your confidence threatens their comfort. That's when you have to double down. Stand even taller in your conviction. You weren't built to fit in. You were built to shift the standard. See, self-belief isn't just about saying, "I got this." It's about becoming the type of person who no longer needs to say it, because your energy says it for you. Walk in the room and let the frequency speak louder than the words. That's the Kanye effect. That's the aura of someone who's already decided. And no, people won't understand why you're so serious, why you're so intense, why you can't just chill. Let them live soft. You've got an empire to build. You've got war in your DNA and a mind wired for domination. You don't chase comfort. You chase clarity, pressure, and purpose. Because when you stay locked in long enough and loud enough, the world has to adjust. They'll try to write you off until they can't ignore the consistency. They'll go quiet when the results get too loud. And by then, it's already too late. You've become the storm they thought you'd never survive. Keep moving like the future is yours. Keep thinking like you were born to lead. You're not asking for a seat at the table. You're building the damn table. Alone if you have to. And if you're still waiting for someone to validate you, you're not ready. Because when you really believe in yourself, I mean radically, irrationally, immovably, you don't need a cosign. You are the cosign. You become your own proof, your own press run, your own institution. Kanye didn't need the charts to know he was a genius. He decided it, wore it, spoke it into existence with a tone that made the world uncomfortable. Not because he was wrong, but because he was early. And that's how self-belief works when it's real. It makes people squirm before it makes them respect you. Most people wait to feel ready. You act like it's already done. You speak from the finish line while you're still building the track. That's what separates the elite from the invisible. You walk with a presence that makes people question if they missed something. That's the energy you carry when you've rehearsed greatness in your mind so many times it feels like memory. Delusion? Nah, it's precision. Because this isn't fake it till you make it. It's become it until they wake up. You don't ask if you're good enough. You know you are. And if there's a gap, you work like a man possessed until the gap doesn't exist anymore. There's no such thing as too much when you're chasing your calling with obsession. Be too intense. Be too confident. Be too much for the people who chose a softer path. Stop over-explaining your hunger to people who feed off comfort. You don't owe them an apology for wanting more. You don't need to dilute your energy to be more digestible. The right people will feel it. The rest were never meant to keep up. So keep building. Keep speaking like your name belongs in history books. Keep performing like the spotlight is already on you. Because when the moment finally arrives, it shouldn't feel like a surprise.